What's up guys, Chasing Lamela here for episode number 39 of Robin's Revival, and just before we start the episode, just a quick thing for those of you who may have missed it when I mentioned the other episode. Video is going to be a little bit sporadic for a couple of weeks. I have just started a new job and I'm still working out my schedule between that and recording, so if there's a few days between episodes, don't think I've disappeared. I haven't. I just got busy with work and didn't have time to do big records. Anyway, without any further ado, we've got the second half of the championship season to get into, so I guess we should go do that. Roll titles. Oh, and like and subscribe. So here we are then, ready for today's big game, which is the FA Cup 4th round against Norwich. I know I said I was going to come back for the game against Reading, but it was played because of this before the end of the transfer window. And I wanted to get the transfer window done, because that way we could talk about it before we came back. So, I guess we start there with who's come in, who's gone out. Let's start there, and then we'll show you how we've been doing over the last few weeks. So we'll start with departures. Lots of players went on loan, but the only major departure was Cyrus Christie. He's gone to join Shamrock Rovers. They paid me £5,000 for him, which bit of a loss on 300k when you sort of think about it, but also his contract was up. He's 33. He wasn't really getting in the side. I figured just take the money. He was going to leave anyway. In fact, he'd already agreed a contract with Shamrock, and I just said, buy him now, take him now. Freed up space in the squad. That was kind of my plan. So Cyrus Christie is no longer with us. But let's see who's coming to replace, well, I say coming to replace him. Let's see who's come just joined the squad. And I guess we'll stick to the headline signings. So we have signed Eric Lamela, the former Spurs attacking midfielder, come winger, come whatever. Also played for Roma and Sevilla. And for some reason, at 33 years old, still improving. And for whatever reason, also retiring in 4 months. Anyway, Eric Lamela came on a free. He was released by Sevilla. I needed an attacking midfielder I could rely on, so he was the guy that came in. Actually, he was one of 3 guys that came in that could fill that role, but I felt like he was a good choice. He's played a couple of times, he scored a goal for us, only gone for a few months. Maybe we'll just use him as a coach or whatever he intends to become after that. I'm guessing he wants to be a manager. Well, he can't have my job, so there's that. Also coming in was another international, was Gustavo Scarpa, Brazilian international. Again, lots of attacking midfield ability, can also play as a left back if I desperately need him to. He was playing for whichever Brazilian club Sep is, and I'm not entirely sure which one Sep is. Palmeiras. Don't know how you get Sep from that. He was playing for Palmeiras. He's played a lot of games for them. Been with Red Bull Brazil and Fluminense, I'm guessing that is. He's played for a lot of clubs, is basically what I'm saying. He's got a cap for Brazil. He looks like a decent all-round player. He's 32. He's definitely a short-term solution to this problem, but a short-term solution is still a solution until we can do something about it in the window at the end of the season. And another player who can play attacking midfielder but can also play in a lot of other positions is Rico Speckschneider, who's coming on loan from Inter Milan, which is a ridiculous place for us to... If you told me in real life Swindon were going to loan a player from Inter Milan, I think I would laugh at you, then slap you for being so silly. But Speckschneider has joined us. He joined Inter on a free at the start of this season and came to us on loan. He's actually played for Inter this season in Serie A as well, a brief sub-appearance. But he's also had a long career with Ajax and was originally at Feyenoord. Never actually, as far as I can tell, played for Ajax's first team, which tells you that Inter must be guessing. I haven't got it loaded. They've won the league. I don't know how a guy who can't get in Ajax's team goes into Inter's first team, and they're the league champions of Italy. Who knows? Anyway, that is the last of the big signings. There is another youngster who's coming that I'd like to talk to you about. So we've signed some youngsters either way, just because I'm always bringing in youngsters when I can. But one guy I'm very excited about, I saw an Adriana Kelenovich, a Croatian who is just there to be a mentor, because his mentors are ridiculous. He came in at the beginning of January. But the big guy I want to kind of show you is Valdemar Gotler. He is a Brazilian goalkeeper. He's 18 years old. He's on loan at Mansfield because I want to be playing because he's 18 years old. And he's worth somewhere around 8 million quid already. I think this guy's probably our future in between the sticks. I think he's probably the guy that replaces Maguire and O'Leary and just becomes our long-term number one. So it's good to have him on board. Goalkeeper is going to be an area I'm looking to improve in the summer because O'Leary's not really got much growth room and he's barely up to scratch for the Championship. I'd like to have someone that can develop. Maybe that's Aaron Maguire, maybe it's someone else in the squad. We'll see how that goes at the end of the year. But that's kind of our major transfers for this window. Since we played Swansea at the beginning of December, however, we have lost 2-1 to Bournemouth with Daniel Deasy scoring. There was a long period in December where Daniel Deasy was injured. I think this was the only game he played in December. He was injured for the rest of December. And it's very telling how much we're lacking a goal scorer. We beat Millwall 1-0, Rommel Palmer scoring. Deasy did play in this one, but not very well. Played Forest, lost 2-0. We played Swansea, lost 2-0. We played Ipswich, lost 1-0. Then we came into January. Maybe it was January Deasy was missing. It's been a couple of days. It was January Deasy was missing. But either way, we drew 1-1 with Hull with a goal from Kieran Barker. We beat Plymouth in the FA Cup. We beat them 2-1. Goal from Jez Walsh. Jez Walsh, you've not seen on the channel, he is a 16-year-old Australian who happened to come through our youth team. He's got some really big potential. I just want to throw him in there and see how he'd do. And, well, was the answer. He did well, an 8.0 rating on his debut. Also, Valdo Marul scoring, but actually this team, if we take a look over here, was a very young side. Maguire in goal with Elias, Gibson, Kane. Kane's another youngster from our youth team, and Colwell. Very young kind of back four. Barry Walsh, Zek, Quintine, and Deasy and Marul. Very young team. Kind of just chucked out there to see how they would do because I didn't really care that much about the FA Cup, and they got themselves a win. So that worked out quite nicely. A 2-2 draw with QPR followed that. Deasy with a brace. We then played Bolton, lost 1-0. Played Reading, beat them 2-0 with Matika and Garnacho scoring. Garnacho playing as a striker in the absence of Deasy for most of January. We've just beaten Brentford 4-3 with goals from Lamela, Land, and a brace from Deasy, which brings us to today's game against Norwich. And that feels like the longest intro I've done to an episode for a while, so let's just go play some football. So our starting line today is going to be O'Leary in goal. Glenn Gould at right back. He's come back into the team. He had a spell out on loan. I don't know if I told you he had a spell out on loan. He went to Hanover, played 13 times there. Was still in the South African squad. South Africa then jumped into the top 70 in the world rankings, and I immediately applied for a new work permit for him and got it, so I recalled him because he is by some distance our best right back and one of the best players in the squad at 19. Alongside Glenn Gould, we've got Odomayo, Gibson and Gordon. We've got Palmer and Shabua Bua as our central midfield pairing. Talking of Shabua Bua loan signings, Kobe Mainu has been recalled by Manchester United because they thought he wasn't playing enough. So we've seen the last of him. Landscarper and Matika are the attacking midfield. Deasy up top with Elias, Colwell, Longman, Garnacho, Ogungbo, Johansson and Speckschneider on the bench. In terms of the key battle to watch today, Daniel Deasy has 17 league goals. He is the second top scorer in the league. However, if we look at the opposition side, we have this guy here, Mehdi Taremi, who has 19 goals, is the top scorer in the Championship, a 33-year-old Iranian international. What makes him very interesting is they brought him in the summer, I believe, to replace Lacazette, who wasn't scoring. They now sit second in the league, while we sit 12th. Anyway, let's just go submit this side and see if we can get ourselves a victory. So we're in the dressing room. We're going to say pumping fists. We're doing well. We're on a good run of form. Keep that going. I don't know how well we're going to do today because, as I said, Norwich are second. In terms of the league, by the way, I realised I forgot to show you the league table. I think automatic promotion at this stage in the season is out of the question because top of the table is on 67. Norwich are on 61. I think it's Huddersfield behind them with 57. And then the next place team has 50, I think, is Middlesbrough. We're currently on 41. So, playoffs is possible. Automatic, I think, is probably gone at this stage in the season. Anyway, we've kicked off. Let's just see what we can do. Looks like we are going to be the better team so far, although we're going to get proved immediately wrong As Traore plays the ball into Tanganga, Traore with a cross, Odomayo heads it clear as far as Diaz to Schultz, Schultz to Traore, Traore has a pop, great save by the post apparently, and we've got it clear. And it's a goal kick for Norwich. It's going to be Angus Gunn to take it, puts it upfield, Palmer heads it away as far as Scarpa. Scarpa with a through ball to Deasy. Can Deasy score? Deasy can score, and we're 1-0 up with his 19th goal of the season. An assist from Scarpa, which I'm very, very happy to see. 22 minutes on the clock and we lead Norwich in the FA Cup. And could there be a surprise cup run coming to aid us on our way? I'd love to do what we did in the Sunderland save in our championship season, where we won a cup and qualified for Europe. I don't think it will happen, but wouldn't it be nice to qualify for Europe, really see where we're at, get that extra cash in? Certainly worth for the bank balance, because we're at minus 1 million. As Gordon picks up the ball in his holo, what can we do here? He's trying to find room for a cross, finds room for the cross, really hits it, really overcooked that. Land to Gould, Gould to Palmer, Palmer with a good cross, and Matika at the back post. It's been tipped behind and we've got ourselves a corner, and can we get ourselves up to 2-0 from here as Scarpa takes it into the box. Tanganga heads it clear from Shabua Bua. But Brendan Land is going to pick up this ball, and can he do so? He can't. He can't. And so it's half time. It's 1-0. We're ahead on every possible metric of fun in the match stats. Into the dressing room, we're going to have a little chat with I am pleased with the number of shots we've taken, keep it up. Everyone looks motivated. No one is having a bad game. This can only end in disaster, I feel like. But so far, no one's having a bad game. We'll start the second half off. Let's see if we can get ourselves a little bit further in the FA Cup, shall we? Gunn has turned something away. Land's had that genuinely was the entire highlight. I've not hidden anything from you. It was the build up to this corner. Rare you kind of see a tiny highlight before that. Anyway, Scarpa into the box, and Land can't get the header on target, puts it wide. And that was kind of a double-nothing highlight. So heading into the final 5 minutes, it's been a very nothing centre-half. I've sent in Elias, Johansson and Speck-Schneider for his debut as well. And nothing really has happened with any of them. There's been literally, as you've seen, no highlights since that weird corner / near miss / whatever that was. Very kind of straightforward, very peaceful, very simple second half. And the final whistle has gone. That is 1-0 for us against Norwich City at home. We found our way into the next round of the FA Cup. I guess against all odds, but it shows how good a team we're building. We've taken the team in second in the Championship, beaten them, dumped them out of the Cup. And I guess the next thing we need to do in this episode is see who we're going to be playing in the next round. Stick around, we'll do the draw in 2 seconds. Well, 2 seconds your time. So the 5th round draw is upon us, and of course City and Liverpool in the hat, Portsmouth are in the hat apparently as one of the smaller teams. We've got Arsenal, Chelsea, Leeds, Everton, Newcastle, Spurs, West Ham are available. Lots and lots of potential teams. Let's go to the auto draw. Let's see who we're going to get for this one. Brighton out the hat first. They're going to face Chelsea. That'll be a feisty one. We're at home. And we've got Leeds, which will be an interesting one, another of our teams from last season. We have got Aston Villa against Everton happening as well. Liverpool will play West Ham or Nottingham Forest. Charlton, who've just stolen Swindon's manager in real life, will be at home to Southampton. Spurs will play Manchester City in the biggest tie of the round. Newcastle versus Wigan, which leaves Arsenal versus Portsmouth. That completes the draw. I think we probably want to play the Leeds game, don't we? That's probably a good idea. So that'll be where we come back. We'll come back probably a bit earlier than I anticipated. We'll come back for the Leeds game, and then we can kind of use this cup thing to break up the last few games of the season, because after that there will be, 10 games left? So hopefully that'll break things up a little bit, because otherwise I would have come back somewhere sort of in here, I would guess, to break up the last 2 games of the season anyway. So we'll add in the FA Cup. Screw it. Let's add in the FA Cup. We'll get that done. We'll play that out. We'll see what happens. That's very much how we roll. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching. I have, as always, been Chasing Lane. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons down there, because that's always a really strong idea. Leave comments too. Hit the subscription button to tell you when I've come and gone posting videos. Weird thing I discovered the other day, 90% of the people who watch this channel, and the numbers have gone through the roof recently, 90% of you are not subscribed, and that seems like a weird thing. If you're watching it, subscribe, and then it tells you when the videos go up, and you have to go remembering to, Anyway, weird thing. Thanks for watching, guys. I've been Chasing Lamely. See you all very soon. Until next time, have a good one.